Well, howdy. Welcome back, or welcome, as the case may be. This is the unfinished journey. And my name's Grandpa Wally, and if you're not aware of where we're at, well, we're in a part of the world that I call the unfinished journey. I'm telling stories, and this one I've titled, Please Let Me Stay in Basic Training. Well, another day, another cup of coffee. I'm sitting here, thinking about the 19-year-old standing in the room at Great Lakes Naval Training Center, wondering what was going on. I'd raised my hand when someone asked if there was anyone who thought they could sing. He hadn't asked if anyone could sing, only if we thought we could sing. Hell, I knew I could sing, never thought anything about it. Figured everyone could sing. Sure, there's folks that claim they can't, but that's their story, and I'm not here to tell you our stories ain't always all that accurate. Most of the time, some doofus is being a smartass and they tell the fella or the gal that they can't sing. Thing is, maybe the person being told that ain't so confident about things and they believe what they just got told. Next thing you know, the person would swear on a stack of Bibles that they can't sing a note if their life depended on it. No one ever told me I couldn't sing. Then again, well, they never told me I could either. Turns out that all these years later, there ain't been anyone who said I can't sing. So, there I was, a part of the Blue Jackets choir, because I'd raised my hand, thinking I could sing. Nothing mystical or magical happened after I heard music for the first time. I sure don't recall going around constantly singing or anything like that. About the only thing I do remember about those earliest days got turned into a story I'd tell at every campfire I do years later. Do you know the song that was the most popular in the country on the day you were born? I do. It was Mule Train, sung by Frankie Lane. Well, maybe that's why I was always drawn to the West and the thought of cowboys. Anyways, Little Wally, everyone called me Junior in those days, was in love with Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. He might have been more in love with Dale, but that's another story for another day. Well, Roy and Dale's theme song was Happy Trails, and for all I know, it might have been the first song I ever learned all the words to. Maybe not, but you get the idea. I don't remember much about those early days, but I do remember singing that song sitting next to Sonia on the top step of those old wooden steps leading to the second floor apartments where we lived. That's the story I'd tell folks listening to my songs and stories years later at the end of the evening. I'd tell them about Sonia and me sitting on the top step of those stairs singing Happy Trails. We'd sit there imagining we're riding our favorite ponies across the western prairies. She'd ride a pinto and I'd ride a palomino. We'd stop every stampede get those cattle back together and head on up the trail. Any bad guys that ever crossed our paths, well, we'd throw a loop, catch them, and haul them off to jail. And we'd sing. We'd sing at the tops of our lungs. Well, 'cause that stairwell made the best echo chamber us kids had ever heard. I'd tell the folks that one day Sonia moved away. Eventually, I moved away from those stairs and that stairwell too. And then I'd tell the folks, this is the story those kids would sing sitting side by side on that top step all those years ago. And it's a wish for each and every one of you. Thanks for being here. Then I'd sing Happy Trails. I swear folks might have been sitting on their hands through the whole evening, but I'd get a smile out of them and even notice some sealed lips opening up when I sang that song. Those were good folks. Those were good times. So no one had told me I could sing, but there I was in the Blue Jackets choir. Turns out volunteering wasn't a bad thing. Would it surprise you to say I never wanted to leave basic training? Anyone who's ever been through basic training in any of the branches of the services likely just spit their beer out. Hell, if I could have, I'd have become a lifer singing in the Blue Jackets choir in basic training. The way I remember things, I ended up in a barracks with others who were all parts of the show when it came to things to do that happened at the base and sometimes other places. There were the guys who were in the drum and bugle corps, the color guard, the band, and the Blue Jackets choir. As I recall that time, we didn't do things much like what I saw other guys were doing. We weren't out there doing calisthenics and marching endlessly. Nope. I was in a choir room learning how to sing my part along with 15 other guys, learning the Navy song, the national anthem, things like that. Maybe I shouldn't admit this, but I couldn't sing the Navy song on a bet these days. I know, 'cause I just checked it out on YouTube. And I thought, those were the words? Yep, gonna pull the old guy card here again. Anyways, my remembrance of basic training was even the manual arms thing was more or less a, okay, that'll work sort of thing. But as anyone who's been around a while knows all too well, the truth is good times don't last forever. I remember pleading with the guy handing my papers to let me stay right where I was and not where the Navy said I was going to go next. I will forever curse that Navy recruiter for not telling me I could have been a part of the Navy that sang instead of the one that was staring at 6 years of submarine duty. And yeah, in a way, you could say that's when the music died for me. Apologies to Don McLean. Singing would almost disappear from my life. Almost, that is, until I bought a 12-string guitar while the destroyer I was on was tied up to the pier in Naples, Italy. But you're supposed to be in a submarine. Well, believe it or not, there's a story about all of that. So until next time, keep your unfinished journey unforgettable. Happy trails.